Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess of the committee at any time. As the FOMC again pointed out last week, the labor market still appears tight, with Fed policymakers projecting a rise in an unemployment rate to a still low 4.1% at the end of the year. Despite pressure from the left, the Federal Reserve must remain committed to eliminating this stealth tax on American workers and families, and I urge you to continue that resolve. Next, we'll continue. As you said last week, the process...
First, I'd like to start by acknowledging that the Federal Reserve made the right decision to pause interest rate hikes. As you know, since last November, I've cautioned against any approach to monetary policy that ignores the Fed's maximum employment mandate and results in a recession with millions of people losing their homes and jobs.
High in the process of getting inflation back down to 2%. Inflation has moderated somewhat since the middle of last year. Nonetheless, inflation pressures continue to run high, and the process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go. Despite elevated inflation, longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. Workers, there are more job openings than there are unemployed people. Wages. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Reducing inflation is likely to require a period of below-trend growth and some softening in labor market conditions. Restoring price stability, again, is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. To maintain the federal funds rate at its current rate at this meeting. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve, and without it, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
Will the committee continue to raise rates later this year? What's the thinking of this? What are we to understand?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, you're right, of course. We did decide to maintain the federal funds rate at its current rate at this meeting. At the same time, participants submitted personal forecasts suggesting that almost all of them thought there would be additional hikes. And I just want to say those two things are entirely consistent. The point being that the level to which we raise rates is actually a separate question of the speed with which we move. Earlier in the process, speed was very important. It's not very important now. The sense of the summary of economic projections and the decision really is just that, given how far we've come, it may make sense to move rates higher, but to do so at a more moderate pace